Find all the links to everything Pants Free Podcast exclusively at pantsfreepod.com.
Nick, do you like to eat?
I am a fatty.
Oh, no, you look fine. You look good on TV with your monocle and ascot. I'm sorry, cravat.
And my top hat and my Mr. Planter's cane.
That's right, you're full of nuts.
I am full of nuts.
Well, if you love to eat, pretty much anything delicious goes on Dave's Killer Bread. And they don't use any drugs. You know what I mean? Like some breads, they and I say drugs, what I mean is they use unnatural sources to make their breads. And it's a true test of great bread. In just the Portland market alone, over the years, there's a certain competitor. Now, Dave isn't one to talk trash about his competitor, so I'll do it for him. But
right.
Over the years, I don't know if you've noticed, Nick, but a certain competitor locally noticed how much business Dave's Killer Bread was doing, and they have stepped up their game and tried to make a product close to the quality of Dave's Killer Bread. But they failed because Dave's Killer Bread is the best bread on earth.
Dave's Killer Bread would kill any other bread that tried to imitate it.
That's right. That's what the killer is. It's so killer that it would kill any other bread that would try to come after it.
It's delicious.
Dave's Killer Bread. Just say no to bread on drugs.
Hello and welcome to another fantastic edition of the Pants Free Podcast. Pants never required. Here now is your host, Polonius Francine Marconi, and his podcast compadre, Nick Miles.
Nick, we're here again.
It's getting regular.
Oh, man. Well, you're on the road this week. You texted me when we normally record the podcast. I'm like, I have to go get on a plane because I'm going to San Diego to work for Fox 5. And
yeah, it's actually in Vallejo, California, which is not closer to LA, but they called me up and they was like, can you come and please fly and be on TV? And I was like, okay. And then just as I'm getting ready to get on the plane, they call me up and says, could you go live with us now? Could you Skype live on the air? And I went, okay.
Wait, is it Vallejo or Viejo?
I don't know. I'm not Spanish. I don't know how to speak the lingo.
You're an English guy. You don't know.
It's foreign. Viejo.
Well, either way, they rush you around, and then you get like 24 hours that you work and do things for them, and then you go back. But you have you have to take the work, right? You can't just say no.
Yeah, I've been away from home for probably less than 24 hours. Yeah, I mean, they call you up and they say, we need you on TV tomorrow morning. You need to fly here. I'm like, all right, camera people, I'm coming.
Don't you wish you could just do it from your backyard?
Shh. Maybe I do.
Yeah, if you could just set up a little corner of your backyard where you could park a car and go and have a background and put up any banner that you want, and then there you go.
The dog's running through it and barking, and the neighbor's handing me mail that got misdelivered over the fence.
Yeah, well, that's all part of the next generation of working from home. or here's another thing. What I don't understand about TV is what is the difference between you standing in front of a car in Viejo, California, or you standing in front of a car at a TV studio in Portland, Oregon?
Well, it also depends. Like, we can gather all the cars in one place, but I mean, I do lots. I mean, this morning I was on station in Sacramento. I was in California. I was on several stations on the East Coast, Indianapolis. That sort of thing.
That's what I mean, though. That's what I mean. Like, what is the difference between you standing in front of a car in California or in Portland?
Well, at the same time, too, we have other guys. We have CNN Spanish guys who we work with. Their CNN guy has to fly somewhere. He flew in from Miami this morning to do this,
It still doesn't answer the question, Nick.
Yeah, there's no difference, but we have to choose somewhere, I guess, is my answer.
Yeah, and why can't it be where you live?
Well, because then all the camera crew and satellite trucks would all have to come up.
But don't they have those at other TV stations?
Yeah, well, the production company I do work for hires them, so they're on contract. So they have to drive, it's cheaper to them to drive to from LA to where we are to San Diego than it is for them to drive up to Portland, Oregon.
All I'm saying is, from being in television, they could subcontract a camera guy from Fox 12 in Portland, and you could stand in Fox 12's parking lot with a car and do the same exact live shot that you do for everyone else.
Yeah, maybe I'm just saying I'm in California. I could be lying.
Right. Well, and then when the weather's bad, you could just go inside a studio.
I could, and we were inside today.
This is what I'm just suggesting, Nick, but I think you like the travel part, don't you?
I'm making those. Yeah, I do. Like I enjoy being pampered and touched by various airlines.
And you get a free hotel, and staying in a hotel to some degree is still fun, isn't it?
Yeah, for the next 3 weeks, I don't think I'm home more than 2 or 3 days.
But do you think stuff like that keeps relationships type stuff fresh?
Yeah, I think Lowell would probably prefer it if I just didn't come home. I don't know.
Like our page at facebook.com/pantsfreepod. Pants Free Podcast.
We're going to talk about this in news coming up, but why aren't you on Vine now? Why don't I see in my feed a lot more Vines from Nick Miles? Because it's
will do. Don't worry. There's a plan.
Oh no, there's a whole plan.
Yeah, it's like we had to go through committee, but it's approved.
Did you talk to a marketing crew?
Yeah, I did.
Oh God.
And the result was that we're now going to start using Vine.
Here's the question: there's a lot of this going on Twitter. People follow like 30,000 people, and they have like maybe 60,000 followers.
Right.
What is the purpose of that? I follow people that I either think are funny, that I know, or that interact or react to my posts on Twitter. Those are the people I follow.
Right.
I don't just follow spam people that decide they want to follow the world for just to have another follower or whatever. The people that follow me, I follow you back kind of people. I don't get that. What's the point of that?
I don't know, because I don't follow. I only follow selected people, and I have been unfollowing a lot of people who I'll read their posts and go, "This is nothing I'm interested in. Goodbye."
Yeah. It's like I hate when people are marketers and they're telling you how they're experts, and you look at their timeline and it's like they follow 60,000 people and they have 61,000 followers. How is that good marketing?
I don't know. I don't know what the marketing plan is. I hear a different marketing plan from marketing experts every day.
I know. That's sort of thing. I don't really think there's such thing as an expert. I think they're just people that know more than, Joe Meathead that, doesn't. He's like, I guess I go on Twitter. What?
I thought Joe Meathead was pretty cool, but okay.
You don't know. You're English. You're not out there amongst the commoners.
And now it's time for Pants Free News.
Nick, it's time for news.
Who tried to close Paris down?
Oh my God.
Who tried to close Paris down?
You and your coy questions, as if you don't already know the answer.
Oh, I'm cheeky.
I don't even. Paris Jackson attempted suicide, right?
Yeah, so the right answer would be Paris tried to close Paris down.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize I was on Jeopardy. Do I need to make it in form of a question? My answer in form of a question?
Yes. Who is Paris Jackson?
Yes. Paris Jackson. I don't know what happened. There's reports from her. Is it her mom? I don't know if it's her mom. Debbie Rowe is her mom, right?
Yeah. I'm not sure what the... I mean, also her lawyer sort of has been talking about it, I guess.
But Debbie Rowe says that she attempted suicide because she wasn't allowed to go to a Marilyn Manson concert.
Right.
First of all, Paris Jackson is like, what, 14? People still like Marilyn Manson and think of him as something to go... I mean, Marilyn Manson? Really?
This story has so many angles to it, which I think is just nuts. First of all, TMZ claim they found these pictures. Doesn't say how, but it shows her with cut-up wrists. How old are they? I mean, how old are these pictures? Second of all, they post pictures of a underage person on the web with what looks like injuries because she's 15, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then it suddenly blows into it's a suicide attempt, and it's really, I don't know, screwed up.
I feel bad for the girl. She seems like a nice girl. Maybe she has some talent. I don't really know. She sings, right? She's a singer.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's. her only thing, but yeah, she's definitely a singer. And she looks really different now than she did do when her father was alive.
Like she looks more adult.
Yeah, she looks like she's cut her hair short, and she used to be sort of this young, long-haired, innocent girl, and now her hair is short, etc., etc.
So in your mind, if somebody cuts her hair, then they're definitely...
Well, no, it's like she used to be very sort of sedate. Now her hair's dyed, and I've seen it blue, and I see it with red flakes in it. It just seems like she's kind of got a little wild since her dad passed.
Wasn't that kind of the trend too? Like Miley Cyrus has her hair all short and kind of in a mohawk. A lot of girls are doing that.
Yeah, but it seems like for someone who is not, is able to dye their hair and is able to wear clothes. I mean, there's pictures of her on TMZ where you can see, a lot of her body. For a 15-year-old, isn't it kind of weird that she couldn't go to a Marilyn Manson concert yet? She can cut all her hair off and dye it and then walk on the street with hardly anything on. You'd think that if the parents or the guardian or Michael Jackson's mother is not allowing her to go to a Marilyn Manson concert, but they allow her to do all this self-expression stuff.
If she was your kid, Nick, would you let her go to Marilyn Manson show?
Yeah, I don't. I mean, it depends. Is it a pattern of problems with her, and is that just the one thing? I mean, the Marilyn Manson show on its own for a good kid to go to, I don't have a problem. But if a kid's struggling with suicide and drugs and bad behavior, and I'm not suggesting that Paris is struggling with any of those, but if they're struggling with it and then they want to go to a Marilyn Manson concert, maybe no is the right answer.
You mean maybe his song, I don't like the drugs, but the drugs like me, might be an influence on someone who has drug problems and suicidal tendencies?
Maybe. Yeah.
Nick,
I think
internet parent. I would like you to parent more children, please.
Yeah, well, then, the parents probably wouldn't like me to parent their children.
Will you adopt me, Nick? Is it too late?
I tried that already, remember? The court said no. When they found out you could change your own diapers, they weren't interested.
It's the news! It's the news!
Which rod is possibly high?
When Nick says rod, it always... Anyway, there's a lot of... A-Rod, he may get suspended for doping on performance-enhancing drugs or PEDs or PEDs.
I'm kind of over all this.
Well, I mean, it's just a recent thing, and we got rid of Lance Armstrong and took away his title and those little yellow wristbands. And did those get taken away? By the way, the Live Strong. Did people just cut those off?
No, because the charity is a cancer charity, and he's still the head of it, I think.
Oh, good. Well, and I kind of like the thing with doping and sports. If doping makes baseball as interesting as the NFL, then I'm all for it. So go right ahead.
Well, he's also going to answer questions. I mean, or some of the organizations that he's been involved with, Biogenetics of America, are they going to sort of answer questions with the Major Baseball League to sort of work out who's involved with what?
Baseball has had a history of little things come up willy-nilly. And, of course, it all started with George Brett's pine tar incident, and it's been hard for me to trust ever since then.
To me, it's doping in baseball. I mean, I know doping's wrong, but it just gets tiring that everyone's doing it, and they're finding new ways to get around it, and the energy doesn't seem... I'm losing my interest in the sport because just the energy is all going in the wrong places.
But does it really matter? I mean, I know an organization doesn't want to endorse drugs. When something happens, they get caught, and they react to it. But they don't mind when A-Rod is making the MLB millions of dollars by going to games.
Yeah,
notice this didn't come out until A-Rod was on the DL list. When he was making millions of dollars and hitting and doing great and winning World Series, none of this kind of stuff came out.
It seems to me just a little bit weird, but I'm tired of it.
Nick, did you ever care?
Yeah, I used to like baseball. In fact, it's the one sport I could associate because it's got a lot of elements of cricket in it. And so I used to like watching it. But, now it seems like every time you turn around, somebody's in baseball is